The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Now, back to your turn on 1330 WEBY, Northwest Florida's talk radio. The phone lines are open, so call in and join the conversation at 623-1330.
Welcome back to Freedom Friday with Carl Gallups. Sit down, buckle up, and hang on.
All right, welcome back, America. Freedom Friday. Glad you're with us. Dr. Jerome Corsi is our guest this afternoon. Harvard Ph.D., WND staff writer and staff reporter, senior staff reporter, also the best-selling author of a couple of New York Times #1 bestsellers. And Dr. Corsi, we're going to continue talking about Syria and chemical weapons and Obama's Muslim Brotherhood connection. And plus, I want to ask you what your prognostication is on this whole affair, particularly since Obama gave a speech just, I guess, an hour ago or less. It sounds to me like he's going or prepared to unilaterally strike Syria. I'll get your take on that in a moment. But before we do, tell us about the book that you have out now that's a blockbuster runaway bestseller, and then you've got this new one coming out, which we have nailed down. The title is Who Really Killed Kennedy? And tell us about both books, starting with the one that's out now, and then tease us a little bit about the one that's coming out.
Well, the one on what went wrong is about the 2000 election, the debacle the GOP suffered, and how it can be prevented. I, of course, traveled with the Romney campaign for 3 weeks at the end of the campaign up until Election Day. And this is the fact that, yes, there was voting fraud, but let's not excuse it. The Democrats beat the Republicans solidly, more than voter fraud could have explained. And it has to do with, really appreciating the tactics that Democrats are using, whether you like them or not. They're hardball politics, Chicago style. Mm-hmm. And the Republicans are not going to win advancing these centrist, Me Too, Rhino Republican candidates like McCain in 2008 and Romney in 2012.
Agreed.
So, and then who killed JFK? My family was close to the Kennedys back in the 50s because my dad was in the labor unions. And I've had the inside story for a long time in the Kennedy assassination, and it's never been told. I decided it was time to tell at least most of it, which is in the book.
Right.
So you're going to find things in Who Killed Kennedy that you have not read before.
Right. And the title is Who Really Killed Kennedy? And the subtitle is something about stunning new revelations or something like that?
After 50 years.
After 50 years, stunning new revelations. And they're coming from not only a world-class investigative reporter, you, but also somebody who apparently has some inside scoop to the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
At least the second part is the case. I know for sure that there's new material in here nobody's ever seen.
Right. No, you are a world-class reporter.
Well, thank you.
Well, you're not going to say that about yourself. I said that, but you are. I mean, your credentials speak for themselves. But you do have some inside connections to the Kennedy family and what happened.
I was inside on some issues that unless you understand what I've written in this book, you won't understand the Kennedy assassination.
Right. Okay. All right. I can't wait. Well, before we move along, let me just say this to you. I should say it off the air, but I'll say it on the air and shamelessly drop your name and just say I enjoyed having breakfast with you at CPAC.
That was good. I enjoyed that, too.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to get to meet you. You've been on my program several times, but it was great
to do it again.
Yes, we will. I look forward to that opportunity sometime in the future. Well, anyway, back to the discussion at hand. Right. So you're pretty well convinced that these chemical weapons have been, at least up to this point, deployed more than likely by the rebels themselves. Now, it's my understanding
I don't think there's any doubt that they've been deployed. I mean, the UN...
Yes.
It's also deja vu. Obama's gone down this road once before. In March, when he was in Israel, Obama was pounding the table saying we've got to go after Assad because he's using chemical weapons. The UN went in and looked. The UN said the rebels are using chemical weapons, and they wouldn't rule out that Assad was using them, but they said that the rebels were using chemical weapons.
Right.
Then Obama dropped it for a while. Now he's back at it again.
Right.
It strikes me that Obama just wants to attack Assad.
I think you're right.
Because Obama doesn't like Assad. Assad's not Muslim Brotherhood.
Right. And he wants him out. And he wants Muslim Brotherhood in, like in Egypt.
Obama wanted Mubarak out because Mubarak
had outlawed
the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt.
Yep.
And Obama wanted Gaddafi out, even though Gaddafi had funded Reverend Wright and Louis Farrakhan back to 1995 when Obama was going on the Million Man March with Louis Farrakhan.
Well, let me do this with you. We're running quite a slap out of time. You're aware of this quote. The president, quote, the president does not have power under the Constitution to unilaterally authorize a military attack in a situation that does not involve stopping an actual or imminent threat to the nation. You know that Barack Obama said that in December 2007.
In fact, I'll have an article tomorrow in WND.
Good.
That basically analyzes it and says that Senator Obama demands the impeachment of President Obama.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, Dr. Corsi. See what I mean about a world-class reporter? That's absolutely right. Senator Obama demands the immediate impeachment of President Obama.
The only way you can look at it, he's violating a standard he articulated.
That he said. Yeah.
Against George W. Bush unequivocally.
Yeah.
When Bush was saying that, threatening to attack Iran in 2007 and 2006.
30 seconds. Prognosticate. Do you think he's going to unilaterally attack? You got 20 seconds.
He's going to look like a fool whether he does or he doesn't. And I think he's got John Kerry out there also looking like a fool. Of course, John Kerry's pretty good at it.
Yeah.
And, the two of these guys have so beat the war drums over Assad. I mean, Great Britain's told them no. France is hesitating. The UN says no. I mean, if beating the war drums is hard, if they don't go ahead and attack us, they're going to look like complete idiots.
Either way they go.
We've got to look like idiots.
Yeah, absolutely. Either way they go, they will.
The attack isn't going to achieve anything.
No.
Launch a few.
We're out, Dr. Corsi. Listen, when we come back, folks, we'll come back with Mike Shoesmith. But that was Dr. Jerome Corsi. We're going to have him back. He's got a lot more to say, and I can't wait to have him back. You're listening to Freedom Friday with Carl Gallups.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.